Good evening, everybody. Hope everyone's week is going well. For this week's video, this is my monthly contribution for the First Line Poets Project. Although there is a twist this month, there is no writing partner that's giving this first line to the poem. Rather, all the curators in the larger group drew up 4 specific lines for all of us to use. So even though it's the same idea, but it's in a different format this month. And this poem, it'll make you want to sail away by the time I'm done reading it. And it goes something like this. On the cusp of balmy breezes, hazy sunshine glimmers above. Santorini meets the Aegean Sea. The catamaran sets sail. Here, there's no troubles, only blue seas, blue skies, good company, and a hellish lager or two. Soaking up the sun, lying on the front netting, sailing around the caldera, a reward after 13 days, exploring the Greek mainland and the islands, pushing myself with archaeological climbs, an epic voyage by land, air, and sea. This is me, in a state of bliss as the waves roll on by. Now I know what everyone's thinking. Yes, I have mentioned Greece, the trip to Greece from 2 years ago, ad nauseum since the trip concluded on October 6, 2023. And I definitely brought up Santorini on more than a few occasions. But for the purposes of this poem and that prompt, that the moment I saw the 4 that were assigned, I knew this one, on the cusp of balmy breezes, was exactly the one I wanted to take a go at writing a poem for. And naturally, my mind wandered back to Santorini, to the last day of the 14 days in Greece. And the catamaran excursion was the only optional excursion offered for this trip. I didn't even have to give it a second thought when I confirmed the booking. I was going to be on that catamaran no matter what. And even though it was very early October, it felt like a last glimpse of summer, seeing the hazy sky on the horizon once I opened the villa door at the resort that we were staying at that morning. It's like it's a perfect summer's day to be out on the water. And there couldn't have been more than about a dozen of us on the boat that set sail that morning. But it was just, after all the effort during this trip, from the tropical storm that preceded the departure, which I still wonder how we managed to get out, how we managed to leave JFK on time, to all the climbs, Athens, Mycenae, Delphi, and Kalambaka, to the fact that it went from that it was a literal air, sea, and land voyage across the Greek mainland and the islands, and the fact that it was my longest trip, 14 days, naturally, like it was trailer is beginning to feel weary, missing everyone, and physically, after all the climbs and all the walking that had been done over the trip. So this catamaran excursion was kind of the reward for all the effort made. I was just lying on the netting with the sun in the sky and probably a helislogger or two in my hands, and I was just in a state of bliss, which even more, almost 2 years later, I still have been trying to come close to it, but I haven't quite got there yet. Okay, maybe seeing the Adriatic from the city walls in Dubrovnik, or being on the deck of the ferry from Split to Var, have come close enough to the degree of bliss I felt on the catamaran, to the point where I was able to be shirtless and go swimming and take the swimming stop without shame, fear, guilt, none of the usual hang-ups that come with everything that I do. I didn't want that day to end, and all these years later, this is one of the places where I go back in my mind whenever the world feels like it's too much to deal with. I just mentally return to those scenes on the water, and I can at least handle whatever the world throws at me. Those balmy breezes are never far from my mind, or from my photo album either. And in this, I impart my moment of bliss to you, the reader. Well, everyone, that's it for this week's video. I hope all of you have a wonderful Friday and an amazing weekend, and I'll talk to you guys again next week. Good night, everybody.